What's going on YouTube? My name is FG3000. I'm back in the place to be, and welcome back to Romancing Saga Re a Universe. This is a brand new hero collector that's currently in soft launch in Italy, Canada, and Singapore. However, word is on the street that you will see the full global launch release of this title sometime around the 23rd, but of course, don't be trying to quote me on that. Now, I did already cover this game in closed beta, and to be honest, at its core, this game is exactly as it was in closed beta, so I don't want to spend a ton of time rehashing my same exact points in this video. However, I will expand on a few, starting off, of course, with the heroes that you can collect. And right off the bat, as you guys can see, you are greeted by that iconic and memorable Yoshitaka art style. And in my opinion, that's a big part of why these characters are so memorable, is because there's really no art style like it. But of course, throughout the years, Romancing Saga does have different artists doing artwork for different characters. And that's why, this is one of my favorite ones right over here. My girl Sif over here. First things first, don't be trying to judge her on this style. She does have some better art style as you unlock them. But of course, I gotta represent that headband gang. Now, throughout the years, of course, there has been different artists doing art style for Romancing Saga, so that's why you're going to see a lot of the characters be very varied when it comes to their look. Some of the characters just flat out don't even look like they belong. Like, look at my boy Henry here. Like, what game does this guy belong in? But that's because I think they pulled the art style and the artists from the specific Romancing Saga game into this game, and that's why they are so varied, as you guys can see. So right off the bat, when it comes to the people that are really going to enjoy this game, number one, of course, Romancing Saga fans. I know that's not a massive amount of people, at least not here in the West, because a lot of those games never came to the West. But if you are a fan of the Romancing Saga series, this is an absolute no-brainer. All your favorite characters are probably represented here in some fashion. However, for the people that don't know a single thing about Romancing Saga, there is still another group of people that might appreciate this game, and that's going to be the people that really appreciate this nostalgic, old-school 2D sprite style artwork, which of course this game has a fantastic amount of. And one thing I find really cool is that even though this game has a ton of characters, all of the sprites definitely look different. Like, they all look different, and they're all, you're able to kind of recognize who they are just based on that, which is, look at this guy right over here. Like, you're gonna be able to tell who this guy is on the battlefield. So for me, this is a stamp of approval. I will be giving it my FG3000 stamp of approval. However, it comes with like some ifs and some maybes. So if you're a fan of Romancing Saga, if you're a fan of 2D sprites, and maybe you're okay with having an open mind to something that you don't know anything about, then maybe this is a stamp of approval when it comes to the heroes that you can collect. So that is that. Let's go ahead and jump into combat itself. And once again, I kind of talked about a lot of this in the first video, but I kind of give you guys a quick overview here in a second. So here we are, and as you guys can see, now as far as the soundtrack is phenomenal. I think that's one thing that's not as subjective as the 2D sprite style. This, I find it, and of course I'm biased, I'm in a bubble, but I find it really hard to believe that somebody would not appreciate how good this soundtrack really is. It is old school, but I think it's still like, it treads that line for being old school, but yet really accessible to a wide audience, even if they did not grow up in that time period. Now, when it comes to combat, yes, you can play this game on manual, and it does have two different types of auto features. So you have full manual, you have normal auto, which just does basic attacks, and then you have full power auto, which is going to just use all of your abilities all the way out, right? Now, when it comes to games like this, right, I always talk about, are you gonna be playing the game mostly on manual, or are you gonna be playing the game mostly on auto? For me, it looks like this game is going to be mostly an auto experience, because a lot of these stages you are going to be regrinding the same exact stage over and over again. So while yes, there might be some stages where if you play the game on manual, you're going to have an easier time getting through it, like for sure. However, when it's time to grind that stage, you are going to be playing the game mostly on auto to kind of grind out those stages and get those very rare drops. Some of these stages drop SSR character or SS characters. Some of these stages drop really high tier weapons. So you are going to be repeating the same stage over and over again. So for me personally, when it comes to just FG's taste, I'm probably not going to play a game like this on manual too often, just due to how often you're going to be regrinding the same exact stages, in my opinion. But that is that. One thing I also want to show you here is the stage that I'm currently stuck on in the story, and that's kind of the reason why I decided to record the video right now, because I got to the point of the game where it's time for me to just start grinding up my characters and getting them stronger, because this boss that I'm on right now, I just cannot defeat. If we go back over here to the campaign screen, I kind of give you the overview of what's going on here. One thing I do not have unlocked right now is the challenge mode. I'll unlock that once I get to chapter 2, so that's something you can look forward to there. Of course, you have your traditional daily resource grinds. So you have Big Treasure Hunt, which is for gold. If we scroll up here, you have the Monster Field Training Cave, which is an EXP grind. You can only do those 2 times per day. You have your daily resource grinds when it comes to weapon upgrades. So this game has a pretty robust upgrade, crafting, and evolve system when it comes to their weapons. And in order to do that, you are going to have these types of materials. So for piercing weapons, slashing, blunt, staves, armor, and gear, all of those are going to take a very specific glowstone in order to upgrade and evolve them. And they're also going to take this universal currency called tri-glowstones. So when it's time for you to upgrade a sword, for example, you're going to be grinding basically these two stages. When it comes to blunts, you're going to be grinding blunt and tri, etc., etc. So that's how that works. And the very first thing that I showed you earlier in the video is going to be the current event that's in the game. So basically, you're going to be fighting this Gerudo over here. He's going to drop currency, and you can use that currency to buy different styles for your character. Now, when this game uses styles, just think heroes, right? These are all just basically heroes right here, but I'll show you more about that once we kind of get to the upgrading piece of the game. So I can use this currency to buy any of these characters that I want, and then of course I can continue to grind this Garuda here to get more of that currency so I can clear out that shop in question. And as you guys can see, I'm not very powerful at all, and I've been able to completely clear out this battle quest lineup here with no problems whatsoever. So that is the event, and then of course you have your main story sequence here as well. Now of course this game is brought to you by Square Enix, so I know some people are going to be very curious about the story. The story goes, it bounces back and forth between like traditional JRPG story and just flat out memes, like 100% memes. Like there's a point in the game where you literally, the dialogue changes to like Snake using his comms, where it's like Snake. Like it completely changes the entire game to like, it looks like something out of Metal Gear Solid. So between traditional JRPG and just flat out memes, while you're kind of going through that, of course you're gonna have different requirements here. Each star represents a difficulty. So 1 star is normal, 2 stars is hard, and then 3 stars is very hard. So eventually you're gonna go through every single one of these stages 3 times. So let's go to the stage that I'm currently stuck on at the moment, so I can at least show you what a boss looks like here, because I have some grinding to do, ladies and gentlemen. Also, just because I just randomly thought about it, this game does not have one of those super annoying data link features. You can link your account using Google Play or Facebook. When I saw this game, I was like, I bet you this is going to be one of those games where you have to freaking write down a code and stuff like that. No, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. Just link it to your Google or your Facebook. Shout out to them on that one. Welcome to 2020. Appreciate having you. Look at my tank, already dead. You can set up different formations here as well. So I have a little tank formation trying to hold it down, but I might want to switch that. Here's my healer right here in the center, already terrified. So I might change that so I can kind of spread around the DPS a little bit, because this is not working. And then here is the last boss, Ayami here, and you can already see which types of element types that he's weak against and strong against. So if you're really trying to min-max, you're going to bring the proper element types here, the proper spells, in order to do the most amount of damage here. So you can also combo some of your big attacks here as well. So we comboed Healing Light along with Rapid Volley, which is not going to be enough to kind of get us through this, unfortunately. Get him with that Artful Slash. Let's turn this up a little bit so you guys can enjoy. Rip. Now this is probably one of those instances where I could have put this on manual and really kind of min-max every single one of my turns there, for sure. However, and this is what I was kind of talking about earlier, eventually I'm going to want to try to grind out some of these stages here to get these drops, to kind of give you a much better idea of why I say that. Is like this stage, for example, right over here, it can literally drop an SS character. Like it can literally drop one. I don't know what the drop rates are, but you're not going to be playing these same stages manually over and over and over again. You're going to want to play these bad boys on auto so you can grind it out as fast, as efficiently as possible to get these really, really rare drops on these stages. Unfortunately, the game does not have any type of auto repeat at all. It does have a replay stage button, but when it comes to quality of life, when it comes to kind of assisting you in grinding these stages repeatedly, there is no quality of life to be found, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and make our way back over here to the home screen so I can show you what else you can do inside the game. Of course, there is a forge system. We've already kind of talked about what entails upgrading your equipment. So you can basically upgrade your equipment using fodder materials as well as these weapon enhancement materials. Once you do that and you max out the gear, you then turn around and evolve that piece of gear by once again using those glowstones that I was talking about earlier. So in order to evolve my little longsword over here, I need to have those tri-glowstones, which are the universal ones, a slash glowstone there, as well as more slash glowstones there. So A rarity as well as S rarity. And that's how the evolution system works when it comes to weapons, armor, gear, etc., etc. If we go over here to the dojo, this is going to be where you upgrade your characters here. Now, once again, styles is a really weird term, but that just really means heroes here. As you use the characters in combat, they can get style. You can also get style EXP from other sources, which I'll show you here in a second. Very straightforward. Drain it all out, increase your level, increase your stats, G to the G. So that's that there. If we go back over here to the screen, you can also unlock your style level cap. So every single one of these characters has a max level. So for example, my character right over here has a max level of 30. Once it's time for me to try to get beyond level 30, I will need to use either duplicate fragments of that character or universal fragments here, which of course do have different rarity levels as well. So these are bronze ones, and of course the higher rarity are going to require different types of fragments to do so. Whatever this is right here, the awakened skill, I don't have that unlocked. That's going to unlock at chapter 5. Expeditions are your tried and true dispatch modes. You send your characters out on missions. They come back in a few hours with EXP as well as materials and whatnot. You also have a training mode, which allows you to get specific fragments for your characters as well. So right now I'm looking for fragments for Sif in order to limit break her continually. So I can throw her into this training mode and she's going to train. And once it's over, I'm going to get fragments for that character. In order to keep the training dojo open, you do need to basically feed it this type of material here. So as you guys can see, it's almost running out. Once this runs out, they cannot train anymore. So what you're going to be doing every now and then is buying some of these materials, as you guys can see there, and then pumping up this amount. That way they can continue to train. Because once that's out, they can't train anymore. And as you guys can see, over time, you can unlock more of these little training dojo training dummies in order to train more heroes at the same time, which is probably going to be a pretty good use of your currency here. There you go. So that is all of the different ways that you can upgrade your character. And when it comes to your actual formations themselves, we're going to kind of skip over it. Well, I think we can actually hit all of these. Yes, we can. But one thing I do want to show you is that all of these characters in this game, well, I don't want to say all of them. A lot of the characters in this game are tied to other characters. So for example, these two characters are actually tied together. So once you unlock them, you can actually switch which 2D art you want to see and which sprites you want to see in combat as well. So very, very cool. So Hector over here and Orion are basically the same exact character when it comes to the skin system. So you can kind of flip them around. Monica, the same exact thing here. So if I want to go here and I want to use that artwork or these two sprites or whatever, I can absolutely do that. So I do like the fact that they give you a little bit of control over the way your characters look in combat. In addition to that, here is my party. So you can do a few different things here. You can set up different formations. You saw that my current formation might not be the best for my party at the moment. So I can do different formations which allow different types of bonuses. Free for all is just basically just free for all, no bonus. This one over here gives my front line a little bit more endurance, and this one over here is better for like sword users and bow users. So depending on what your team makeup looks like, depending on your best weapons, etc., will kind of dictate what your formation looks like. If we go back over here to the party screen, as you guys can see, here is my party here. I can equip all of their gear, pretty straightforward. Very decent quality of life when it comes to just being able to scroll across all of my different characters. So basically what I can do here, I can equip gear on every single one of these characters, hit confirm, and it automatically applies to all of them, which I definitely appreciate there. Of course, gear drops from different stages. That is pretty straightforward. But I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to cover in the game at the moment. Like I said, for this game, the people that are going to be attracted to it, of course, are going to be people that know about the Romancing Saga IP and people that really love this old school nostalgic 2D artwork. However, I think this game is going to be very polarizing for the people that it attracts because in my opinion, the very best part about a hero collector, don't say it FG, is the heroes that you can collect. And if you're not into the Romancing Saga IP, you don't really like 2D sprites, I think it's going to be a hard sell for those people, because if they're like me, it's all about the power fantasy, right? Collecting these characters. What is this guy doing? Like, what is this guy doing? It's a mole. It's all about the power fantasy, right? Getting some of these characters, making them powerful, upgrading them, and using those characters to tackle stronger and stronger challenges, in my opinion, is the very best part about hero collectors. So many hero collectors are out there, and they're more similar than they are different, right? The starkest difference between all hero collectors are the heroes that you can collect. So if you're not really into this 2D art style and you have no connection to any of these characters, I don't think the power fantasy of this game is compelling enough to draw those people in. When it comes to other games that have like really big ultimates and crazy weapons and crazy fireballs, I think those games are easier to sell on the power fantasy, even if you don't know anything about the IP. But here, I think it's a much harder sell. So I don't really see this game getting a massive audience. It's definitely going to be a niche pick when it comes to this game here. But for the people that do love it, I think they're going to find a lot to enjoy here. A couple different things before we go ahead and end the video. The game does have paid and free currency. As you guys can see, there is a paid banner currently in the game. As far as additional gameplay that you can look forward to, a little bit later today, there are going to be unlocking the Spiral Corridor, which looks like your traditional tower mode there. Also, a little bit later, they're probably going to unlock the guild feature here as well. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is a look at Romancing Saga Re: Universe. My name is FT3000. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll probably check back in with you once this game is officially globally launched, to kind of give you guys an update at that point, because none of the global launch pre-register rewards have been given out. They're waiting for the global launch for that. So we're gonna have some more goodies, maybe some more summons, and we'll see kind of what my updated thoughts are then. So I'm out. See you guys next video. Later.